So, in this presentation, I'd like to introduce the essentials to use e-archiving software efficiently to archive your data. In order to explain the logic behind the e-archiving software, let me set the stage step by step, especially for those of you in the audience that are not archiving professionals, and I hope that the archiving professionals will excuse this introduction. So the overall process starts with exporting or collecting the content and packaging it. This phase is called pre-ingest. The e-archiving building block provides several content type specifications and the specification for the submission information package supporting pre-ingest. The submission information package is the input for the digital preservation platform. I should have started with that one, actually. That's why it was in the middle, that archiving is not just storing data, but there were a lot of talks about it. Fulgencio, Janet, Karin all said, but we all know that the digital file formats of today become obsolete very soon. A floppy disk from the 90s carrying DBase, then very popular DBase file can hardly be interpreted or even read or even put into somewhere to be read today. And you all have many examples from both your professional and private lives. So we need mechanisms to keep the records and the information content accessible despite of the ever-changing software and hardware environment. And that's what a digital preservation system does. It has the mechanisms for that, provides the mechanisms for that. So when we have the submission information package, the input for this digital preservation platform, then we ingest it. That means that the submission information package is converted to the long-term preservation format called the archival information package. From this point on, we can be sure that the content, the records, are archived safely in the digital preservation platform, and the platform is responsible for preserving the information for decades, or theoretically, we haven't tested yet, theoretically for centuries or millennia or forever. If someone wants to reuse the data, then we create the dissemination information package and give access to the user, the consumer of this data, and the user can visualize the content with a viewer corresponding to the content type within the package. So this is our stage with all the phases of archiving, digital archiving below, and the specifications the e-archiving building block provides at the top, the content type and the package specifications. The e-archiving sample software portfolio, so the collection of our softwares, covers all of these phases or processes as the OAIS reference model defines them. It's a collection of software components, software tools, and libraries covering all aspects of digital archiving. So let's see them one by one. The database preservation toolkit and database visualization toolkit are based on the CR 2.0 specification. They are highly efficient tools to archive databases. The database preservation toolkit extracts the information from any major database and not just the tables and data, but the business logic that belongs with them, that is stored in the database, or a huge part of the business logic can be extracted and put in the eArch package as well. And you can visualize the content of a eArch package with the database visualization toolkit. RODA-IN is a submission information package creator. It's an easy-to-use tool. You can collect all the content that you want to package in the submission information package. You add metadata and generate the package. The RODA repository is one of the long-term preservation solutions of eArchiving. It covers everything from ingest to access through data management, preservation planning. And it's a well-established, mature product. We really recommend to use it. The ESS preservation platform, which is called ESSR Core now, used to be the preservation platform, is a real wall-to-wall digital archiving solution. From pre-ingest to access, it provides modules for helping the data producers creating their packages, and many features for the archival institutions. It has been used in many Scandinavian historic and municipality archives for years now. The eArchiving toolbox is a multi-purpose set of tools. We have developed it originally in the eArch project as a reference implementation around the specifications. But it has improved ever since, and now it's a set of simple tools that you can use to create, process, and test specifications. The toolbox also includes a demo user environment, eArchiving environment called eArch Web. And the sample software portfolio also includes reusable code libraries. We provide code libraries in Java and Python programming languages. They can be used to create and test information packages. The eArchiving use cases. The most important use cases is database preservation, database archiving, archiving documents or records from records management or document management system, and geodata archiving. Probably the most popular use case is the database archiving. To our surprise, we even had a request from the National Archives and Records Administration of the US, and we have made a very successful pilot together with them. They wanted to use the CR2. They don't try out the CR2 specification with our tools. You can use, as I mentioned, the database preservation and visualization toolkit regarding the content, and you can use all the other tools to create the package, archive them for long-term preservation and access. Also, you can do the same with documents records. If database archiving is the most popular use case, probably the most interesting, the most exciting one, the very trendy one, the database, the geodata archiving. You usually don't want to preserve geodata in itself. You want to preserve it along with your other kind of data. And we provide content type for geodata preservation, and all the tools are capable of, you can run through the whole process with geodata, and you can reuse, you can access the geodata along with your contents at the end. E-archiving stakeholders. I've made some slides by stakeholders. The e-archiving building block has identified 3 major stakeholder groups. Operator managers, that's practically anyone with data that needs to be stored. I think that's all of us. Repository owners, organizations that's doing the archiving things, so archives or any organization with archiving, and solution providers, that's software developers and researchers. So the operators, managers, people with data to be stored, focus on the pre-ingest and ingest path. So they want to create something and give it to an archive or an archival institution, and that they can trust that the data is kept forever there. They can use these tools, and the repository owners use practically everything that we have, and we support the solution providers with the e-archiving toolbox and the Java and Python libraries. We recommend solution providers to check the e-archiving toolbox, because these are simple solutions around the specifications, how we think we should work with the specifications. Finally, although the software, the e-archiving software, was originally developed for historic national archives and for archiving professionals, the e-archiving specifications and software perfectly suit the need of anyone, anybody, or any organization with data to be stored. On the other hand, I have to admit that the language and the logic behind some of the solutions are not necessarily straightforward. So implementing a full-scale digital archiving solution can be a complex task. It's a complex but highly rewarding task. So we encourage you to think big, but recommend to approach in smaller, simple steps. And most importantly, don't hesitate to contact us when you're planning to use any of our software components. We are here to help and would be really happy to do so.
Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you, Istvan. So those were open source solutions with the specifications. The specifications could be used with a commercial provider. So really, these are very open for all scenarios. And any technical questions, we have a service desk, which Sophia will tell you about. So anything that comes to the CEF service desk, the e-archiving service desk, would then come to us.